So the platform is ready for the audience to ask questions to Mr. Noha, and he'll be very much glad to answer those kinds of questions to us.
Indeed.
So if anyone has questions, they can unmute themselves and they can ask Noha directly, or you can put it in the chat box, whichever is comfortable.
Come on, guys. I'm sure there's a couple of questions there.
Okay, Noha, while we are waiting for the people
this is what I always find, that when it comes to insurance, people are scared. They don't know where to go, where to turn, you know.
Okay, I've got one question.
Go for it.
So can you please tell us what is not included in a content insurance?
What is not included in the content insurance? I mean, what is not included essentially is mechanical breakdown of, let's say, your washing machine or your dishwasher or fridge, because those things tend to be covered by the warranty of those appliances. So if you do take out our content insurance, even though it's got accidental damage included within it, it would only be things that are damaged via way of an accident. So just your fridge breaking down does not necessarily mean that the insurer would actually cover that, because it doesn't count as an accident or anything in relation to a flood, fire, or burglary. It was just, it's had mechanical breakdown. So it's either, you know, you can claim through the warranty aspect, or you may need some sort of a separate kind of insurance for those kind of devices. Or yeah, you might need a new one. Maybe so.
Thank you, Noha.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any questions to ask Noha?
I've got one, if he doesn't mind.
I don't mind at all, Alfred. I was waiting for you. I think you're taking too long.
I know, good presentation.
Thank you so much.
So obviously the life insurance. So I kind of have life insurance. I always find that like obviously every property I buy, you're having to update it. So my thing is, I know for every single property you add, obviously the number is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in size, and obviously meaning your premium keeps going up and up and up and up.
Yes.
But something that I do honestly forget, not that I forget, but because it's not like mandatory you have to do it. It's a thing to do to kind of protect, like you said, in event something happens,
yeah,
all cleared off your property, and then whoever inherits the property in effect gets a mortgage-free property, which is amazing.
Correct.
It's worth paying long term for sure to have a debt-free portfolio, basically, which is amazing.
Correct.
My only thing is how important, like, I guess, stressing the importance of kind of making phone calls to you guys to kind of making sure that every deal that I'm doing or buying, acquiring, that I'm getting the insurance put on for that new property that I'm buying.
I mean, the easy way around it, for example, I do have obviously a lot of clients that, you know, are, you know, multiple property owners, you know, and you're right, it can be a little bit sort of tedious every time you buy a property, got to add to the insurance. But it's similar to also doing your buildings insurance or your content insurance, because every time you do buy a property, you got to do that as well. So in a way, so
I wanted to be able to say I deny that, but yeah. But the life insurance never comes to my head. I just think,
you know, so we got to cover all bases. That's what point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
But what some clients may do overall is, look, they have foresight. Look, they know their property portfolio is going to be £1 million or £1.5 million over time. So the way they look at it is like, Noah, write me a policy of £1 million for the next 30 years, because I want to lock in a good price now. And I know that my property portfolio in the next 3, 4, 5 years is going to be £1 million.
Okay.
So that way you've in advance cut down the price, or, you know, that potentially you would pay for getting up to £1 million over time. And also the workload of, or maybe forgetting, for example, to keep topping up, get £1 million worth of life insurance. It covers those amount of properties, you know, for a particular period of time. You know, so that's another way around it.
Noha, knowing Alfred, you need to write an insurance for at least 100 million.
Oh wow.
He's going on F1 speed.
No, that's
No,
good to know. It's good to
that's
know.
that's interesting. I didn't know you can set a big figure and just
Yeah, you
cover
can.
up anything within that.
Yeah,
That's a way to get it done. Yeah,
you
like
can.
I'm
And the
interested.
younger you are, Alfred, the cheaper it is.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
and the healthier you are and the fitter you are, the better it is to do, you know. So yeah, someone like yourself, like Jito was saying, is an aspiring investor doing great things. You're someone that's probably going to be on Forbes, you know, we're going to see you on TV, that kind of stuff. Yeah, lock in something good now, you know, that you know, at least for the next 4 or 5 years, you don't have to worry about that. And even if it doesn't cover the full amount of your portfolio, at least you know you've taken care of a large part of that debt should the worst or unforeseen happen. And
Yeah,
also look into the critical illness side of it as well, because we do tend to face a critical illness before the worst happening, which the stats will always show. People would either suffer cancer first, or a heart attack, or a stroke, or that kind of stuff happening that impacts maybe our life. And if you get £1 million paid out, or you know, it just sort of helps cushion the blow, and it may just ease some of the things that you know you would have still had to do if you have such a large portfolio when you've got sort of tax-free cash sitting in your bank.
yeah. I want to pick up a question on the critical, and I've actually cancelled. So I used to have critical illness when I was working.
Okay.
And when I actually lost my job,
Yeah.
and I wanted to kind of claim, well, I kind of wanted to see what it was about, like what could I claim?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like, oh, you had to have been ill. It wasn't, I guess it wasn't critical illness, but it wasn't, sorry, not critical illness. There was
Income
a
protection.
income protection.
Yeah.
I had to have been out for a number of months before being able to, it wasn't like instant.
Yeah. There's a
And
deferred period. Yeah.
and then also as well in the grand scheme of things versus what I was going to get versus what I was earning was nowhere near. We kind of made like, what's the point? Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
fill forms up to kind of get something that isn't going to even help me out.
Yeah, I mean the income protection, which is part of the reason why I didn't mention it on the
Yeah,
presentation, it's not something necessarily that I would advise
yeah,
for property owners, because the amount that you might get, the way it might work, may not really work out beneficial. But
exactly.
definitely with the critical illness and the life insurance, that one I definitely would advise property owners to most definitely have. I mean, it's extremely important, you know.
So one thing with the critical illness, how does, because I've always thought, well, I'm building this income, I'm building this wealth to have to support myself, not necessarily rely on someone else kind of fixing my problems.
Yep.
In what case? So I know you're saying critical illness, but is that in the case? Is that got to be related to the property investment business itself? Like, what's defined that critical illness? Is it just me just saying I'm not well and therefore I want to get paid out for this surgery I need to go and do?
Essentially, the critical illness covers the individual. So
Yeah,
it's, you know, but the amount of cover can be in relation to how much, you know, your properties are worth. So in the event that you were to be critically ill or diagnosed with a critical illness, the amount that's paid out, you can use it to clear off your property debt. You can use it to invest into more properties, whatever you name it. It's just a financial tool, an insurance tool that has been used for many, many, many years to continue that sort of wealth generation within many families. You know, they've been using critical illness policies, life insurance for a very long time in relation to properties. They really have. You know,
so do you need both or one?
I would say yes, but then it all comes down to affordability as well. Obviously, life insurance is extremely cheap these days, but critical illness is a lot more expensive. And I just see a question that's just popped up on my screen. What are the consequences if you don't have life? Just have a look at that, because I think it kind of correlates to what you're asking,
Yes.
Alfred. It says, what are the consequences if you don't have life insurance and if a person gets critically ill? Well, if you don't have life insurance and you passed away, then that's that, isn't it? You pass away, and you know, the consequences are the family will have to deal with whatever, you know, they have to deal with, you know, which can be a very messy time. I'll be very honest with you, especially when there are a lot of properties. And what we find is with property owners, you know, and investors, similar to yourself, Alfred, is that we do the things that we feel we need to do for the property, but we don't do the things that we need to do for ourselves. Wills, very important. Trusts, very important. Life insurance, very important. We need to kind of safeguard ourselves and our legacies smartly, because if you do get a critical illness, or if the worst happens and you die unexpectedly, what happens to this, portfolio that you've built?
Yeah, I think I would vouch for definitely the life insurance. It's a no-brainer. If you've built a £10 million portfolio, which potentially has £7 million worth of debt against that, rather than them potentially only getting the 3 million, you're now getting paid a whole 10 million. Or the
There you
family
go.
getting paid the whole 10 million, and 10 million is 10 million debt-free, no mortgage, no nothing. I'm
Yeah.
paying
Of
someone,
course.
which is rental income. So you got the rent,
Yeah.
in the property, rental income,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So
And the thing is, I usually keep all my secrets usually to personal one-on-one consultations where people contact me. Usually, obviously, reveal all the secrets, but I'll give you guys all one gem, one secret, one tip to walk away with in relation to life insurance. Now, there is a policy called relevant life insurance. So if you have a limited company and you're running your property portfolio business through that limited company, HMRC will allow you to take out a relevant life insurance for whatever amount you want to take out for, I believe up to 20 million. And it's a tax deductible expense, meaning that when they do run your tax bill or the accountants go through the whole thing over the year, the relevant life amount, whether it's £300 a month, whatever it may be, is actually tax deductible. It's an expense. Essentially, you're not actually paying for that.
yeah, no, that's a good one.
But again, these things, I don't like saying them too openly in a forum. We don't know who's listening. So these are more one-on-one conversations that I have with my clients so they can understand genuinely how they can use insurance to safeguard their hard work.
Noha, I have a question.
Go for it.
If a person who's already diagnosed with one of the critical illness, okay, and suppose if he plans to buy another life insurance plus a critical cover with another company or something like some sort of, will the company allow a second policy?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you just had a standard policy, you got diagnosed with a critical illness, chances are you probably won't be able to get any cover anymore from mainstream providers. That's just a fact. However, there are certain benefits that we can put in the policies that mean, should the person get diagnosed with a critical illness, we will be able to buy more life insurance for them without them having to go through the underwriting process again. There are some benefits that we can put in there, the additions that we can do that, where they can buy back more cover without having to go through underwriting again. But without those additions, chances are probably no, they won't be able to.
I have a question on the screen. Sachin is asking, property investment is liability and insurance cover is a way to limit the risk, but how much percentage of keep aside of profit?
How many what, sorry?
How much percentage of should we keep aside for a profit?
In relation to insurance?
Yeah, that's correct, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Could you explain the question a little bit better, Shashi?
Yeah.
Just so I could
I
understand
think you explained it to Alfred, and I think I got the answer as just because the keep sliders in your presentation. I think those are the bare minimum essential insurance landlord need to taken for covering his risk liabilities. So I think
Yes.
so that percentage is nothing but what I was after. But I think it covers in your presentation as well as when you explain to Alfred as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So guys, is anybody who is still I think Alfred has one more.
Well, yeah,
Yes, Alfred.
I was thinking about it, but I was thinking essentially, obviously, it's a varying question. I was going to say,
Go for it.
generally speaking, a portfolio size of £5 million, for example, what would you be expecting someone to pay on a monthly basis? But I think you're based on an individual to get
Based on the individual, based on your age, based on your
all that.
circumstance, based on all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Obviously, I work with kind of a large, panel of providers, so we're able to get you the best price, as it were, on the market, but most importantly, the best advice. And things like relevant life policies and things like nature. If you're running them through the limited company, so the limited company is paying, those premiums, you essentially don't have to worry about how much you're paying, essentially, because that's a tax deductible expense. And when you're running a business, you want to be able to have as many tax deductible expenses as possible, because that's what enables you to enjoy the fruits of being a business owner. Because essentially, the more profit, I'm not an accountant, by the way, but the more profit you make, the more tax you pay.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense that you use that tax deductible method through the company. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pay it to HMRC instead. Why pay HMRC?
Exactly
If you
my
can look
point.
after yourself
If you
and
can look
secure
after
your
it,
family's,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
generational wealth.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what it is.
Again, another question. I think you had answered during your presentation.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, did the rent guarantee become popular or not?
Okay, there was a lot of claims during that period for rent guarantee insurance. So what that meant is that the insurers stopped offering it. You couldn't have it anymore as an add-on. It is now back on the market. Some insurers are not offering it still, but there's one or two that I am working with who do. But during that period, there was claims going through the roof, because remember, people were made furlough, people were made redundant, people lost jobs, businesses went down, you name it. So many things happened, and property owners, landlords did feel it, and obviously claims went through the roof. So the insurers actually stopped offering it. But it's back on again, which is good.
Life should go on.
Life should go, indeed.
So, Noha, if anyone wants to contact you, what's the best way to contact?
I'm always available on my phone, as you know very well, Jito. So feel free to give me a ring. I'm sure Jito will share all of my contact details. You can pop me an email as well, but I tend to just work better on the phone. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other, and let's do some business. If I can help, I can help. If I can't, hopefully I provide some value that will help you along the way some way. Yeah, let's connect. You can.
Hi, Noha.
Hiya.
My name is Ram. Yeah, just I got one question.
Yes, of course, Raham.
In between, I have missed your presentation as well.
Okay.
I have a business. I own convenience store. So, do you do the building insurance for the commercial?
Yes, I do indeed. We
All right.
specialize in, because when you are a landlord, essentially, it is in a way considered a commercial insurance because it's done for business purposes. But if you're talking about specific commercial, like let's say shops, that kind of thing, yes, I do that as well.
All right. Okay. But yeah, as for the, I'm on a leasehold. I want to,
Okay.
for the landlord is normally he's doing his business, building insurance every year.
Yep.
But is it possible to do? I can do myself as well.
So you're the leaseholder.
I'm an leaseholder. Yes, he's doing business. The building insurance coming under his name.
Yeah.
But I am paying for it.
Okay.
But is whatever he's getting quote every year is a little bit expensive.
Yeah. So what you can say to him is that because you're paying for it, you want to go and source out the quotes yourself.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
And then if it has to be his name on there, it's not a problem. But because you are paying for it, you have a right to be able to, in a way, dictate what you're paying for. Because, like you said, you might be paying way more than you need to be for the same exact thing.
Yes.
So yes, of course, you're well within your rights to say, I want to source some other quotes since I'm paying for it to see what's out there on the market. Of course, I can help with that.
You can help me with that. And what about the shop insurance? You do shop insurance
We
as
do
well?
shops insurance as well. We do all that. Every insurance would take care of except car insurance.
All right. Thank you. Then I'd like your contact number. Then
we leave that to the call centers. Say again.
You're going to leave your contact details in a chat group?
Yes,
or...
please. Jito, can you please
even
share
JD,
my
I can get
contact
it from
details?
JD as well. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
I will.
please. Yes, please
Yeah.
share my contact details with everyone, because I over know that people may have some questions and things that, you know, so please make sure you share my details. I'm available practically 24/7. I live in the office, so I'll be able to assist in any way possible.
But you'll be in office.
I am indeed.
You lucky guy, you don't need to pay rent or anything then.
Well, well, the amount of rent I pay for this office, you think I'm going mad, you know, but it is what it is. You have to invest in life. If you don't invest, you ain't going to reap no rewards, you know, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Thank you, Noha.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, no, Noha, thank you so much for your expertise.
Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting all of you. Alfred, I loved your presentation as well. Jito, thanks for the opportunity. Thank you so much, guys. I'll look forward to speaking to you all soon.
Yeah.